I'm gonna go over all the Dead Island 2 characters, including both their abilities and their playstyles, as well as their voice lines. So that way you get an entire perspective on what each character sounds like, plays like, and feels like. Now to go for first, you obviously have 6 different choices. We have 3 men and 3 women, and even their backstory. But let's just get right into it. What's up, world? It's Trippy here, back in with another video, and today we're checking out all things Dead Island 2. Okay, so first up we do have Jacob. His hometown is London, he's a stuntman, he loves Shakespeare, and he doesn't appreciate doing anything. Basically, this guy is pretty lazy. For his abilities, that includes feral and critical gains. And the feral ability provides a damage buff when enemies are downed one after another, and can be stacked as long as you're on foot. So the more zombies you get out of the way, the more damage you'll do. Now critical gains increases his critical damage stat when out of stamina, giving him the chance to rescue a bad situation. And so this man's just going to be swinging up a storm, able to take down hordes of zombies, it seems like, and he's going to be able to do consistent damage. This class does seem to be more reminiscent of a hack and slash and just kind of all out, basically the same attack over and over again, so any button spammers out there, including myself, this might be the class for them. And here's some examples of his voice lines.
Jacob, bruv, from the crash. I'm a good boy. Swear on my mum's grave. Bed by 9. Roll with the punches, as my granddad used to say.
Now next up we do have Amy. Her hometown is Los Angeles, she was an athlete, and she loves being in the lead and hates losing. Now Amy has 2 abilities again, those are Relief Pitcher and Divide and Conquer. Relief Pitcher will allow her to regenerate energy every time she successfully throws a weapon, allowing her to stay agile. Her next ability is Divide and Conquer, which offers a damage boost when attacking a zombie who strayed from the crowd. So yeah, she definitely seems like an agile class who is going to be able to take down a good, nice AoE horde, and any time that a mob kind of veers off in the distance, she'll be able to use a ranged attack, basically throwing a weapon, etc. And then she'll gain energy off that, which will then allow her to go back to the crowd and take out the other horde, or the group of zombies, etc. Again, seems like a decent sort of hack and slash class with a nice little range attachment, almost reminiscent of like a hunter. And here are some of her voice lines.
Hi, it's just me, Ames. Chalk one up for Team Living. I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down.
Now next up we do have Ryan. And his hometown is Fresno. His job was an exotic dancer. He loves his brother and he hates exercising for fun. Now his 2 abilities are Seesaw and Retaliation. Seesaw allows him to restore some health after knocking an enemy off their feet. Retaliation allows him to increase his force stat after dodging or blocking. So seemingly this is kind of more of like a tanky build where they are regenerating constant health, so they're able to get into the mix of things. So someone that likes to dodge and block a lot and kind of be taking all the damage because they're able to generate that health, and they're also able to get that retaliation force stat bonus. Seemingly this is definitely the class for you. And here are some of his voice lines.
It's, Ryan. The crash.
Look, you can trust me. I'm a firefighter, right?
I'm no angel, that's for sure.
Now next up we have Danny. Her hometown is County Cork. Her job was a retail assistant. She loves breaking rules and hates talking to her family. Her 2 abilities are Bloodlust and Thunderstruck. Bloodlust allows her to regenerate health when multiple enemies are defeated in rapid succession. Thunderstruck causes any heavy attacks to come with an explosion that affects the area surrounding her. This is definitely kind of like an AoE DPS class that also has a nice amount of heals. Somewhat seemingly reminiscent of a support class, but also able to provide a nice amount of AoE damage to make up for that other damage boost loss from some of the other classes. And here are some of her voice lines.
Danny, how's she cutting?
Zombie ass-kicking services at competitive prices.
Needs must when the devil dry.
Next up we have Carla. She's also from the hometown of Los Angeles. She was a mechanic. She loves the adrenaline and hates being bored. Carla again has 2 abilities, Dig Deep and Mosh Pit. Now Dig Deep allows her to increase her toughness stat when her health gets too low, while Mosh Pit gives her extra damage when surrounded by multiple enemies at once. So again, another tanking class. Meaning that we've already had the 2 DPS classes, the 2 hack and slashes, plus kind of like an AoE support, and now we have another tank class. And here are some of her voice lines.
Hey, it's Carla. Let me at 'em. I'm getting up close and personal.
Now last but not least, we do have Bruno. Bruno is again from Los Angeles. His job was a hustler, he loves being challenged, and he hates corruption. His 2 abilities are Backstab and Rapid Reprisal. Now Backstab obviously speaks for itself, it boosts all damage when hitting enemies from behind. Now Rapid Reprisal buffs his agility after each block or dodge. So this is definitely reminiscent of a ninja kind of stealth class, nice little DPS class there. This class definitely doesn't have any support like the other classes, so he's going to have to use all all that stealth to his advantage, as well as kind of overtaking enemies from behind. And here are some of his voice lines.
Hey, name's Bruno. Lady Luck's still on our side.
Get up 10 times, I'll knock you down 11.
Okay, so that does round up all 6 classes, and I hope I gave a good overview of each, and now I'm going to kind of delve deep into all of the classes and kind of pinpoint them to where they're at. So for an overview, it looks like we do have 2 tank classes, we have seemingly 3 DPS classes, and I would consider Dani more of a DPS AoE support class, because she has one of her abilities more tailored to being a heal class and less so on the damage. Now as far as most of these abilities go, they do seem to be that they aren't as crazy influential to your gameplay as maybe some prior games, and for me personally, I am torn between a few. I do kind of want to almost go Dani, because I feel like even though she is more of a support class, I feel like having that support ability is going to be nice no matter what. But with things like Amy and Bruno, they seem to be super fun, especially Bruno's playstyle being stealth. That's kind of how I like to play a lot of my games, because I'm usually trying to go for the stealth route. Even for Last of Us Part 1, I also went for the stealth route. But Dani does overall provide that nice sort of heal. So I have been definitely going back and forth, and I would like to hear your guys' comments, because it definitely was going to help me decide as well. Other than that, we do have 2 character packs that do come with the Deluxe and the Gold Edition, and those will be Rodeo Sunset costume for Jacob and Devil's Horseshoes weapon. And then the second pack will be the Neurrunner skin for Amy, and Samir and Julian will get a weapon. So seemingly, if you did want to pick your character based on these packs, you only get 2 choices, which is the original 2 showcase, which was Jacob and Amy. For me, I'm more than likely not going to go with Amy, so I'm not going to get a pack. I'm also going to have an update video a little bit after this one, because the game is going to kind of be releasing tomorrow. I don't know if you guys know about the Xbox trick, but I'm also going to talk about it in today's later video as well. Seemingly, you can set your location to New Zealand and play the game a bit early, so you probably will see people playing it on Twitch streams, YouTube live streams, and all that nature. But there is also a Twitch drop, and that is for another weapon skin that's coming out, so I'll also showcase that here so you can check it out. And also just to note, a wary on spoilers, because you will see people posting, and there's going to be someone that has beaten the game quite quickly, because people just kind of rush through everything. They skip everything just to get the last little scene, and so you will see that on places like Reddit, Twitter, and even YouTube. So do watch out for spoilers for tomorrow. As I said, people are going to be playing the game. Now there's also kind of a cool correlation. I was going to do a poll, but kind of I'm going to go off the viewership for the YouTube video. And so seemingly, I'm going to take the viewership of each video and kind of correlate that to maybe how popular each class or each character is going to be. And so the first release trailer, now these were released differently. I do want to preface that the Jacob and Amy trailers were released at the start, and then a few weeks to months later, the other trailers were for the other characters. But first up, we do have Jacob with 23,000 views. Next up, we do have Amy with 29,000 views. Then we have Ryan with 22,400. Dani has 26,000. Carla has 18,000. And then last but not least, Bruno has 25,000. So seemingly Amy is the most popular character, although I think some of you and myself can kind of guess why that has the most amount of views. And it is cool to kind of see Bruno and some of the other characters kind of have a higher viewership, and then Carla is sitting at last. Does make kind of sense since she's like more of the female tank. Seems like the tank variants and also the other tank as well. Ryan kind of has a lower viewership as well. And then Dani being a support class. Seems like all the DPS classes, the hack and slash classes really do have the highest viewership, which is pretty obvious. Still thought it was a pretty cool comparison. But that does about cover for today's video. If you like it, and subscribe. And until the next one, deuce.